The Dark History of a Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 7 Review. Volume 6 of The Dark History of Reincarnated Villainess saw protagonists Iana and Co. visit the land of ninjas, where Iana got herself into all kinds of trouble. The volume ended in a dramatic battle involving Sol and his old mentor Ognis, which we have changed Sol's fate forever. As a reunite with our cast for Volume 7, we find that we return home to the royal capital of the Rose Kingdom. After the events of Volume 6, Sol no longer has desire to kill Iana, nor suspects her of wrongdoing, which our protagonist hopes means she's now on a survivor route, rather than destined to meet a bad end. In addition to this, Sol even lets slip that he might have romantic feelings for Iana, but before she can respond, a new crisis is afoot. Iana's sister Konoha has been invited to visit Lalala Temple, which sets up alarm bells for Iana, as this is the place in the original story where Konoha is declared a saint, and it leads to the ultimate bad end for our heroine. As it turns out, Iana's spirits are right on the mark. The chapel has been attacked, leaving many dead and others fearing for their own lives should the culprits return. In order to raise the morale of the population and put their minds at ease, the High Priest decides to move forward with the plan to select someone with divine powers to become a saint, which is an event that has historically happened in times of danger. Just like in Iana's story, Konoha has been selected as a candidate for sainthood and must stay there in the temple while undergoing trials to decide on the saint. Each candidate was allowed to bring a retainer, but the priest has a grudge against Iana and deems her unsuitable given her reputation as a villainess. Iana knows that if she's sent back home, that there's something to stop the bad end from coming to pass. Still, at the same time, Konoha will need the support of her fiancé, Guinefort, so instead, Iana pledges herself as a retainer to a new character, Isaac Casablanca. Will she be able to get him chosen as the saint, terribly avoiding a terrible future for all those she cares about? While the dark history of a Reincarnated Villainess tends to throw in a complete mismatch of genres and storylines from volume to volume, here in the 7th entry it feels like we return to the main plot. At the very least, Konoha has become a saint. It's something we know about since the beginning of the series, so it makes sense for author Akihiro Toka to return to it at last. And as usual, we have just many questions as answers. Just who is Isaac, if he's not a character that Iana originally created, or at least remembers for her past life, and why is he holding such a pivotal role in the story? Familiar-faced detective Clematis arrives to warn Iana to stay away from the temple, and Isaac, who doesn't know anything about. But Iana is determined to see this drunk and to save her sister from fate. Isaac is yet another handsome addition to the cast, who's very likely to fall in love with Iana as she's his only support for becoming a saint. And I'm sure readers are growing tired of characters being introduced who immediately swan for Iana, but I may not find myself more interested in Isaac simply because of his unknown quantity rather than someone who Iana created in her past life. As a love interest, Isaac is someone that both we readers and Iana are getting to know as the story progresses at this stage in the manga. That's a refreshing change. This is clearly intended to be a multi-volume arc given there's no end assigned here in Volume 7, and it's even a display of higher page count than usual. Previously the series had been at its best when following a longer plotline, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the story will progress from here, particularly that these feels less hazardly drawn together than we have seen before. The Dark History of Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 7 comes to the West thanks to Yen Press and continues to be translated by Kev Kaufman, previously created as Lisa Kaufman, with lettering by Rachel J. Burse. In Japan, this installment was originally released with a limited edition version, but here in the West, Yen Press has only given it a single release. However, at the back of this edition, they included the bonus content for the special edition, so we end up with the best of both worlds. This includes color pages as well as a collection of extra stories, so certainly the kind of things fans will eager to read. Volume of the series is currently scheduled for release in October, so this release will be slowing down, so we got closer to catching up with Japan. However, number 10 still could have more than on the near horizon. Overall, The Dark History of a Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 7 kickstarts a new arc that looks to be here to stay for the foreseeable, with plenty of twists and turns that tie into the original premise. This feels better thought out than usual, and it leaves us with a release that showcases some of the better sides of this manga. It's not perfect, but every volume is improving at the last, and that's the best place it can be. A review copy from the Yen Press was supplied by Diamond Book Distributors UK, 8 out of 10.